Hey everyone, these were my votes for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards for 2023. For Anime of the Year, if Kaguya-sama Love is War was on here, I would have voted for that. But since it wasn't, I voted for Spy Family. This one was really tough because I also really enjoyed Attack on Titan and Lycoris Recoil. I think that I just didn't feel as much hype for Attack on Titan because I already finished reading the manga a long time ago. Lycoris Recoil was amazing and I can barely think of any flaws for it, but I think I just enjoyed Spy Family a tad bit more. Best original anime was easy for me because Lycoris Recoil was the only original anime I saw this season. For me, Lycoris Recoil checked all the boxes. It had great characters, pacing, music, action, animation, humor, drama, and more. Best character design was hard. I actually voted for My Dress Up Darling because I really liked the depth the female characters had with their colors. But I actually think I should have voted for Spy Family. There was a huge variety of different characters in Spy Family and they all look great. For best animation, I was tempted to pick Attack on Titan because of the transformations and the titans, but I had to go with Demon Slayer. The animations for the sword fights were just too amazing, especially Tanjiro's water attacks. Best new series was also tough, but I voted for Spy Family. My Dress Up Darling was probably number 3 for me. I used to be a cosplayer myself, so watching it felt really nostalgic. I'm not much of an introvert, so I didn't really relate to Gojo, but I really loved how wholesome the show was. Lycoris Recoil was probably number 2 for me. Like I said earlier, I just thought this was an all-around great show. Had the right mix of action, comedy, drama, and all that. But Spy Family was the most enjoyable for me overall. Something about Anya's character was just so refreshing and different. I think her character might be why I ultimately voted for Spy Family. Best continuing series was easy. Kaguya-sama Love is War was my number 1 favorite anime last year. It might be recency bias, but it's also my number 1 favorite romance of all time. It's bold to say, but I think this is even better than Toradora. For best opening sequence, I almost picked Attack on Titan because I really liked the rumbling song and the animation that went along with it. But Spy Family's Mixed Nuts is just a little more my style. The opening bassline of the song is amazing. My interpretation of the opening sequence is that Anya really likes watching spy cartoons, and since her dad is a spy and her mom is an assassin, she feels like she's living out her dream of being in a spy cartoon show. The best ending sequence was pretty tough to choose. I really loved the animation to Kaguya-sama's ending, but was just sort of okay with the song. I really enjoyed both the animation and the song for My Dress Up Darling, but Spy Family's comedy ending was just more enjoyable overall for me. My interpretation of the ending sequence is looking into Anya's brain and seeing what her experience is like living her new life. For best score, I of course had to vote for Spy Family. Attack on Titan's music is always great, and I enjoyed Demon Slayer's as well, but I think that the fun Secret Agent inspired music for Spy Family was my favorite last year. Best film was also easy for me because Dragon Ball Super Superhero was the only film on the list that I actually watched. If you're a fan of Piccolo, you should see this. I don't think it was quite as good as the Broly movie, but it was still really good. For best anime song, I unsurprisingly picked Comedy from Spy Family. The song is just so catchy and well made. It was so different from all the other songs of the season, and it just really stood out to me. It's the only ending song that's still stuck in my head from last year. For best director, I actually voted for Shingo Adachi for Lycoris Recoil. I chose him because I really liked how the pacing of the show's story was handled. I especially like how it slowly fed us information on the mystery behind Chisato. That on top of all of the great action and comedy kept me dying for the next episode each week. For best main character, I voted for Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. This guy's had so much character development over the years. He went from being an obnoxious but headstrong kid to a mass-murdering adult with a lot of depth. For best supporting character, I voted for Ai Hayasaka from Love is War. She was just absolutely amazing in the show. Even though the show centers around Kaguya and President Shirogane, nothing would actually happen in the show without Hayasaka. For must protect at all costs, this one was easy. I voted for Anya from Spy Family. She's so pure, adorable, and funny. If you didn't vote for her, you're heartless. Voting for best action was tough. Lycoris Recoil was probably number 3 for me. The scenes of Takina shooting objects from super far away with a silencer on her pistol and Chisato dodging bullets were absolutely amazing. Attack on Titan was number 2 because of all the titans, but similar to what I said earlier, Demon Slayer got my vote because of the sword fighting animations. For best comedy, I wish that Bocchi the Rock was here. That would have easily gotten my vote. But since it wasn't, I voted for Kaguya-sama Love is War. Love is War had a really unique humor style that was just the right amount of chaotic that somehow avoided getting into obnoxious territory. It was just amazing. Best drama was Attack on Titan. What I like most about Attack on Titan is the gray area of morality that the characters are all in. It's tough to decide who's good and who's bad, or if they're all somewhere in the middle. Best fantasy was easy. I voted for Mushoku Tensei or Jobless Reincarnation. I really love the story and the humor of Jobless Reincarnation, but what set it apart from the other isekais was the world building. I really loved that instead of an opening sequence, we got to see shots of whatever area the episode was taking place in. For best Japanese voice actor performance, I voted for Atsumi Tanizaki for her portrayal of Anya in Spy Family. Lloyd and Yor Forger are already great leads on their own, but Anya's character really made Spy Family stand out from the other comedy shows last year. Without Atsumi Tanizaki's performance, I wouldn't have voted for Spy Family in so many categories. So I actually didn't watch any English dubs last year, but but I did check out some clips of my Dress Up Darlings dub out of curiosity since Amanda Lee was casted as Marian. She sounded good. I wasn't the biggest fan of how Gojo sounded in the dub, but Marian sounded great. But anyways, since her performance was the only English one I actually heard, she got my vote by default. If you agree or disagree with any of my votes, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.